Hello my people, how we dey? Welcome back to OPAG News TV update. So guys, it's been a huge public concern regards the fuse between Senator Natasha and of course the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. If you would remember, days ago an argument broke out in the house. People come dey ask, okay, wetin happen? That is why OPAG News TV dey here. Make we explain to una small wetin happen for that house. Now before the house proceed with proceedings that day, the House Chief Whip, Senator Tahir Moguno, raised a concern that Senator Natasha was sitting in a place where she was not supposed to sit. Now, this adjustment in sitting came as a result of the defection of two House members to the All Progressives Congress. Senator Tahir quoted the fact that Natasha was sitting in a place where she was not supposed to sit, and as such, she was supposed to adjust and sit properly. Now, Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, upheld this and requested that Senator Natasha should move to her original seat or her motions would not be entertained. It was at this point that Senator Natasha insisted that she must be heard.
Pursuant to the provisions of our rules and in the exercise of the powers conferred on the Senate President to resume her new seat. If not, the Senate President may decide to exercise the powers conferred on him not to allow her to contribute to any debate.
The point of order is sustained.
Order, please.
Dismissed Senator Natasha, please, you are not recognized to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges. Senator may rise at any time
to speak
upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he shall be prepared to move without notice. A motion declaring that the content of breach of privilege has been
suspension immediately.
I choose to remain on this seat all today. The work to do, Mr. Senate President, is to suspend me from sitting, and I promise you, the work I am suspended does not mean that I insist to contribute my future to the development of my people.
So guys, after all that happened, this went on social media and caught the attention of the public as usual. While we were still wondering why that would happen, Senator Natasha requested to have an interview with Arise News, allegedly claiming that what transpired in the house was not just what the ordinary eye could see, and that there was more to that, and in turn alleged that the Senate President had ulterior motives towards her, and what happened in the house was not the first time, and that she had these same issues with Senator Akpabio ever since she refused his advances towards her.
It all started on the 8th of December 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday. We are birthday mates. We were all in Akwa Ibom because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akwa Ibom. And at first we were at Ikot Ekpene. We were in his house in Ikot Ekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyo, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, just three of us. We're walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room. And he said, do you like my house? I said, of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste. He said, now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it. At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me. And the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that in certain statements or not? And then the Senate President too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear the invitation to treat or not? So then the Senate President now said, oh, by the way, let me show you my chapel. He has a chapel in his house as well. So when we were going to the chapel, we we walked in silence and all. So that evening, before we left the Senate President's house at about 11 midnight to the 4 Points in Ikotekpene. And my husband asked me, Natasha, what did the Senate President whisper to you? What's he telling you? I thought, should I tell him that he was speaking about bringing me in here at a special time for us to have a good time? Or should I just kill it there, wrap it as if there was nothing? Because tomorrow was a big day. I know how much my husband adores the Senate President. He loves him as a brother. My husband would do anything to support him. So I told my husband, nothing. I can't remember what I created, but I just gave him some words to manage, to mask what was said. When we laid in bed, I lay to my right, and my husband wrapped his arms around me, and he said, my love, you know you can't tell me anything. What did the Senate President tell you? Again, I was like, don't you believe me? I said, nothing. Nothing. Moreover, it's my birthday in a few minutes. Let's just be happy. Then my husband told me he doesn't want to see me travel out of the country alone, and I should not go to the Senate President's house because he has a guest house where many senators do go there, after office to get approvals and all that.
Now guys, while we're still pondering and wondering and trying to understand this interview, Senator Natasha now stormed the National Assembly with a petition. She petitioned the president in the House, calling on the Ethics Committee to look into the matter. Now mind you, when Natasha was asked to move to her original seat or sit down, Senator Natasha insisted on talking, which led to her suspension according to the House rules.
Is in my name against the President of the Nigerian Senate, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuse of office, and malicious obstruction of my legislative functions. You may recall, sir, that on Friday in Arise TV, I did make some statements. And I have decided to narrow these statements in a formal petition against the President of this Senate. So if it may please you, I would humbly step forward and lay this petition. Thank you.
You may proceed.
So guys, after the House looked into all this, some House members were of the opinion that was against the House rules. Natasha was not supposed to petition the Senate President or any member at all. So guys, and this was how the petition was refused by the House. They insisted that it's not whether petitioning and taking this matter to the Ethics Committee, it was if petitioning at all was right, and the House rejected Senator Natasha's petition.
Section 60 of which says, we shall regulate our procedure. Secondly, we are guided by the rules of this Senate. Section 40, subsection 4, of which also says, no senator shall personally sign a petition to be laid before this Senate. It's not about committee on ethics.
This has already gone wild on social media. Everybody is talking about it. Everybody is giving their own analysis to it. And of course, while Senator Natasha proceeded to the National Assembly to petition Senator Godswill Akpabio, now there was already other section of protesters already outside the complex. Some calling for the removal of the Senate President. Others were in support of the Senate President, accusing Senator Natasha that she should not bring sentiment into the matter and that what transpired was what they were seeing, and she should not bring any feminism or whatever to the matter.
I am supporting Akpabio because he's a Senate President. Number 2, he's somebody's husband. He's not looking at Natasha. Natasha is just a senator. He doesn't have time with Natasha. Natasha should free Akpabio. Akpabio is somebody's father. He's a grandfather. He's somebody's husband. He's somebody's son. Natasha should face her husband and leave Akpabio alone. Investigate what? Did you miss Akpabio with Natasha in the bed? Did you mean Akpabio talking to Natasha by the roadside? Did you mean Akpabio talking to Natasha that I love
you? So my people, now so we jejely they monitor all these things where they happen for us. So while all this were happening in the National Assembly, it was visibly seen that Senator Godswill Akpabio stepped into the National Assembly complex before the start of the proceedings with kissing the wife, and same as Senator Natasha kissing her husband. Now, do you think this thing can bring two families together, kissing, they happen? Let us know what you think, guys, in the comment section, and do subscribe to OPAG News TV for the latest news gist that will come your way timely.